Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 45 and today we are starting things off in our freshly beautified base. I am feeling much better about this place. We've got all of the blocks in place, we've removed all of the ugly things that we had going on, and I especially like this area right here. But I can't help but notice that a few extra decorations have been added since I was last on the server. We got green heads all over the place. We've got one there, we've got one there, I've got one here. I'm sure there's more around the base. I mean, he just can't help himself. And I believe this is to do with the green headhunting challenge. Now that is not something that we're going to be taking a part of today because we have got far too much to do, but I guess I'm gonna have to get involved. I mean, I'm probably winning already with the number that are in my base. Oh dear. Oh. What do I do now? How do I get around on the server? This is a genuine issue. Tango, this is a genuine issue. Anyway, for the first part of today's Hermitcraft episode, we are going to be working on this thing. I've actually come up with a cool idea that I think is going to look really good, that should hopefully break up the ice cream sandwich that I've created right here. And it involves just kind of taking the basic elements of what we had going on, but then also splitting them up. So I'm just in the process of wiping out a lot of the things that we had in the middle here. But if we just pop down, you can see. Alright, okay, so we've got some shapes going on. I feel like that one is actually longer than this one. But then in the middle here, we're going to have to build something. I don't know what that something is just yet. You know, actually, now that I've done this, that actually looks quite cool in a way. Like, we don't need to overcomplicate things too much. By adding in a bunch of stuff, we could just fill in all of the glass panes here and have that be one big open window in the center, and then we could do something similar on all of the four sides. How does that look? I mean, it definitely looks very futuristic, there's no denying that. Yeah, it looks interesting. It certainly looks interesting. I'm almost wondering what we do for the roof. So roof-wise, I don't really have a plan. And I was playing with the idea of leaving it open topped. Now what could look quite cool is if we kind of continue that strip. So you see that glass strip there? We kind of continue that up and then create a semi-open roof, but with a cross. So this right here would go across like that, and then that side would go across the top, and then we'd have four quadrants that would be in open air. I actually think that would look pretty cool. Yeah, that seems like a pretty sweet setup to me. And then I guess lighting wise, round the top, I guess we'd place in a bunch of sea lanterns, and then we'd have maybe quartz slabs on top so that nothing can spawn up here, because this is quite a dark build. And actually we need to work out how to light this as well. So that is all of the groundwork done, and I don't know about you guys, but I think this place looks super cool. You know, I've been thinking I might actually create some viewing platforms out over here so that we can actually see the base without having to fly around a bunch. But no, that looks much better than what we had going on. It's a really cool shape, and it fits in nicely with all of the other builds that we have going on. The one thing that I will say is that I'd like a beacon in this corner here. I think that will really finish off that little section of the city space. But now, yeah, we need to do the roof, and I think I'm going to take on that idea of just trying to do the cross section and just see if it will function. Who knows? I'm in a fairly odd situation in that I'm fairly certain I've got tons and tons of cactus green somewhere, but I don't have the foggiest idea where it is, and that shouldn't be there. I'm sure you can tell what's happened here. Not only are we running out of fireworks, I only have 19 left to my name. I don't know what I'm going to do after that. But also my elytra have completely conked out, so I'm just on my way over to the Guardian farm the old-fashioned way, via boat. Oh, by the way, just recently I got myself some wicked new boots. I kind of found a bunch of boots in my base, combined them all, and I think that's about as good as it gets. Protection 4, Depth Strider 3, Mending, Feather Falling 4, and Breaking 3. So hopefully I now shouldn't die when I'm playing golf, and I shouldn't die quite as much when I'm flying through my base. I'm not so sure about this roof idea. I don't know, it's kind of... It kind of looks okay. But... I don't know if I like this edge here. Ah! This is really difficult. This is super, super difficult. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Green's just adding some decorations to my build, and he is off. Oh, but not without placing an extra head right there. Lovely. Now, if you can't tell, I'm just kind of rolling with it, and I'm going to keep building, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm actually liking it more and more the more blocks I get in place. I think it's looking cool. I think once we get rid of these torches and actually make it look a tiny bit more finished up at the top here, then it will end up looking like a really cool build. Holy mackerel! Alright, I guess we have to clear those guys out. Are there any rockets down here, though? That's the important question. There's some good stuff down here. Blimey. There's some really good stuff down here. Thank you ever so much to Impulse. He is going to lend me some rockets. This... Oh, I mean, I can't thank you enough. You've saved me. And this looks also very interesting. Yep. That's the ticket. That right there is the ticket. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so glad I decided to stick with this thing. To save on firework rockets, I've actually picked up my Riptide Trident again, and I'm using that to get around because, of course, I'm completely surrounded by ocean, so I can kind of just do this. And you know what? It's actually, it's pretty speedy. This build is now fully completed, or at least completed to the best of my abilities. I absolutely love this thing. I think it looks sweet. There's just one or two things I can't work out. The first thing is lighting up this top section. I have no idea how to light these things, so let me know that down in the comments section. And the next thing I've totally forgotten, give me a second. Oh yeah, it's to place all of the stone bricks around the base. We need to make sure that we actually have a decent looking foundation for this thing. So that is that. By the way, look how much stone we've got. And also cobblestone. What have you been doing? That has made all the difference. Oh, yes. Okay, we've nailed it. All right. All right, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. I can't hide my excitement here because I've been stressing about this for the past 2 days, okay? It's really been on my mind. I just couldn't work out how I was going to build it, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, next up, I think beacon. Beacon here. We were talking about it earlier on. I think a beacon being there will be lovely. So let's quickly run over to the Wither skeleton farm and try our best to get our hands on one. Now, every time I've been here, on the first try, I have got myself a Wither skeleton skull. So let's see. Can we keep up that tradition? Right, okay, that's not been the best of starts. Oh, it's not looking good. Nothing. Okay, looks like we've broken that tradition. Right, well, I think this works best in the form of a time lapse. Let's do it. So in today's time lapse chat, I want to talk to you about a recent project that we shot with Chris and Jack. For those of you who don't know, Zedaf on the Hermitcraft server also runs another YouTube channel called Chris and Jack, where he and his friend create comedy skits together, and it's absolutely hilarious. I would highly suggest checking it out if you haven't already. But Zedaf asked me if I fancied filming one of their videos. They had an idea for a video and they asked me if I wanted to film it. Of course I said yes. This was many months ago, and then suddenly everything in the world happened all at once. We were in the Philippines, I was down in Cornwall filming a project, and then I ended up in Italy and Boston all within about a 40-day period. So it kind of got pushed back a little bit, but eventually everything cleared out, schedule cleared out, and I was able to film it. We managed to find a location, which was like a dark and grimy car park somewhere, and we managed to set a date. And the idea was that we would film from around about 8 or 9 p.m. until we finished, which ended up being around about 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was quite a long shoot, but it was a lot of fun. And it was the first time that Vicky and I had filmed anything that was fiction based, because we've done mini documentaries in the past, and obviously we've done YouTube videos and things like that, but for the most part we focused on mini documentaries. So this was our first time filming something that was like a narrative based project, and it was a lot of fun. Obviously you learn a lot from these sorts of things. There was definitely some interesting mishaps, all of which will be covered in the behind the scenes video, which I know that Chris and Jack have produced. But I have to say, it was fantastic, so I cannot wait to share the video with you guys, because I'm sure you will absolutely love it. Well, I think it's safe to say that that was a bit of a success. We actually managed to get a Wither skeleton skull. Well, we managed to get 3 Wither skeleton skulls relatively quickly there. So I decided I would go for another 3 so that we have enough to make 2 beacons. And that took a little bit longer, as is typical. You know, when you make the decision to do that sort of thing, you kind of know in your head that you've just signed up for it taking 10 times longer than the other set did. But anyway, we managed to do it, so now we have enough to make 2 beacons, which is yeah, it's going to be pretty handy. I have no clue what I'm going to use them for, though. Right, let's go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm assuming this still works in 1.13.2. If not, really bad news. I really need to work on my maths. Well, I'll store up all of those with the skeleton skulls in the ender chest, because right now we only need 1 beacon, but 1 beacon we now have. Okay, now I need the iron, and I need to buy the iron, which is actually going to cost quite a lot of diamonds. Does anyone know how many diamonds this guy has? Like, honestly, can someone please put a number down in the comment section? He must have shown it in his videos. It's got to be stupid. I gotta say, this looks pretty sweet. Now, what do we use? I like these new emblems, by the way. Maybe jump boost 2? To be quite frankly honest with you, like I mean, I'm literally using beacons as decoration at this point in time. But I feel like jump boost 2 could come in handy. Yeah, especially with, does it work with water? Like, can I... Oh, I don't actually jump out of water. I thought it could help with that. Okay, well, you know what? I mean, we can change up whenever, but for now, that's where it's going to be. And I think for now, this should make the entire place look pretty fancy. Look at this. We're looking pretty cool here. Wow, this looks like a wealthy base. Like, this looks, I don't know, it looks very clean, very pristine. It looks like we know what we're doing, which is awesome. That's exactly how I want it to be. Super, super cool. Okay, right, next thing that I really want to do is we need to actually start connecting up some of these farms up into the storage system, because as you can see, you know, we've got half of the sugarcane farm filled in, and the reason that we only have half of it filled in is because right now our 1 chest that this thing is filling up has filled up. So we need to connect that up into this item stream, which will then take it into the storage system. So here we have our pipeline, and here we have the cactus farm. Now the cactus farm is going to be interesting because in theory it will go up like this, it will then go through these chests, and then if it overflows from these chests, I think I'm actually going to drop it back down into another thing. It will then go underneath the cactus farm again, and then maybe pop up somewhere over here like this. And then this one will have to come out underneath and also pop out somewhere over here and then fall in somewhere. Oh, it's a bit of a mess. Now, originally I was going to use hopper lines to do this, but the more I thought about it, I actually think that using ice streams underneath the water will be smarter. The only thing that I'm going to have to do is, I guess I'm going to have to place in all of the ice. I'll kind of template it out, and then we'll have to kind of go around and I guess clear out the water in between the glass. I don't really know. Yeah, I was definitely overcomplicating that in my head. This was quite a simple process. So we now have this little ice walkway underneath both the cactus farm and also underneath the sugarcane farm. I completely forgot what farm that was. And they connect up at this item elevator, or soon to be item elevator right here, which will then drop the items off into this main water stream. Now I'm hoping that all of this should work. So none of it's connected up just yet, but that's something that I'm about to do, because this chest right here, so if as soon as we remove this hopper, those items are then going to be dropping down into the system. So if we just do a bit of this. Okay, so all of those have fallen in. Now we are probably going to lose some sugarcane here, and by probably I mean we're definitely going to lose some sugarcane here. But if we do that, they all burst out everywhere, but then the sugarcane is making its way through, is going up into this item elevator right here. And then if we hop onto this, we should eventually see. So it zips across here, zips across there, zips across like that, and then if we pop up inside the sphere, let's see if we can get up there in time. The answer's probably no, to be quite frankly honest with you. One of these days I'll be able to take off relatively easily. We should see. Okay, yeah, there's some sugarcane coming through. And I've just realized we haven't actually put any of the items into this storage system just yet, which means that, yeah, this is kind of just filling up. Okay, that has been fixed. I've also got a slot for cacti, and then the rest of the slots, I guess I'll just fill in with these junk items right here. So yeah, just my little please subscribe dirts. They're just going to go into all of these hoppers, and then eventually, as we add more farms into the system, we will start to take the first item out and create a slot for that item in the storage system, if that makes sense. The server is definitely running slow. Oh boy. Now I have just thought, while we're in the process of connecting up my farms to the storage system, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to connect up this little fella. Now, for those of you who don't remember this, I built this really early on in the Hermitcraft season. This is my slime farm, which is wickedly fast. Despite the fact... Ooh. Okay, so we got some slimes. We got some slime balls lying around there. Maybe that's to do with the fact that the minecarts haven't fired yet, or maybe they've finally given up. It wouldn't surprise me if they've stopped functioning after all this time, so we'll have to look into that. But yeah, we can connect up this into my storage system, and actually, you know what? It probably wouldn't be that difficult. I mean, we just have to run it into here. Right, let's take a look at this. So ooh, okay, all right. Slime farm's been producing. Nice. Yeah, we definitely need to get this hooked up to some form of storage system. Jeez. Oh gosh, I've created a thing. I've created... There's slime balls going all over the place. Okay, for some reason I thought they would continue straight upwards. Doesn't look like that's the case. I thought it would be nice to have like all of the slime balls just going up in a nice column. But yeah, no. So look how much momentum that one got. That's traveling off miles. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think they're drowned. I don't want to say it, but I do. I don't know if the drowned are the best addition to the game. I mean, I'm messing around. I'm building things underwater, okay, and I've built a lot of things underwater. Now, mobs in Minecraft make total sense. They spawn in dark spaces, right? The drowned, they just appear, and they just bug the player. I can't think of a real practical use for them. I think this could be done. So this guy right here is currently in the process of checking it out by the looks of things, but we've got the pipeline that runs up from there. It will take the slime balls across like this, then take them up through a mini item elevator, and then across into this section here. So I guess we just need to grab some slime balls and actually drop them into the storage system so that they can be sorted through. But that should be fully connected. I just want to make sure. Just in case. Okay, it looks like... Yeah, we aren't getting any item lossage, which is something that I was a little bit worried about. Oh! Look, there we go! Slime balls! I was just watching back that clip. And they just flew past. Oh, I see what you guys were talking about. When I built this thing, there were a bunch of people saying that I'd missed one piece of packed ice. And I couldn't work out where that was going to be, and it turns out it's actually here. So if we just replace that, and I was so close to just destroying the block and not taking out the water stream, which obviously would have then flooded all the red stone. I think we got lucky then. Yeah, I think that's the definition of getting lucky there. Anyway, that is now all of that fully connected up as well. So all of our current farms are now connected into our farm storage system, unless there's any that I'm forgetting. Obviously, the kelp farm has its own storage system and its own kind of fern. That's kind of its own self-contained system, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I think that covers everything. So now what I want to do is I actually want to fly off, and I want to talk to you guys about something. As you guys know, off over here, we have got this little island. Now, I don't think I'm going to do anything too crazy with this place. I think it's just a tiny bit too close to this island. However, well, yeah, see, I say that, but I've kind of come up with an idea. So I want to build a ridiculous mob farm. I know that we're going to be building the mob farm over at Grian's place as well, but I also want to build a ridiculous mob farm for myself, and I want to build it kind of in line with this thing. So we'll line them up, and then we'll have that kind of hanging out over in this area. I'm going to clear out some of the ocean for it as well. It's going to look absolutely spectacular, and that's going to be off over here. So we're going to have this kind of line of bases with the city. But I've also been thinking, you know, this island here, we could definitely do something with it, but I don't really know what. Now, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is storage system for all of the items from the mob farm, but yeah, you know, that's kind of like that's a bit, it's not a cop-out because it makes total sense, but I also kind of want the items from this mob farm to go across into my base. And this is another one of those farms that's only going to be active when I actively AFK at it. So there's going to be a pressure plate there to stop it from going out of sync, and also to stop it lagging out the server too much, a bit like what we've got going on with our sugarcane farm over here. So I'm just trying to work out what you guys think I should do with this island, considering the fact that we're going to have a mob farm off in this area. Let me know down in the comment section. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is actually all I've got time for today. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.